Ladies and gentlemen, Tony Gaskins here. Thank you so much for joining me. God bless whoever already showed up and showed out in that cut a light on in here on the donation. Look like somebody already sent in a blessing. I really appreciate that. I thank y'all so much for joining me. I wanted to pop in because, as you know, it's the new year and trying to bring in the new year the right way. I really appreciate you all for being members of the channel. For those of you who have joined the Blessed Tribe, it means more to me than you understand. Just having people who are willing to go that extra mile and just be a blessing and make YouTube really a place to be for me. I have had this YouTube channel since 2011 and didn't really start using it until 2019, in a real way, like consistently. And it's been great, a place for me to kind of get through all the questions that I receive in the inbox. I have an email address that the members have. If you don't have it, you got to go back to the community section and read through. And I get questions there and I try to pull pieces from those questions and turn it into a video. And I have over 1,000 questions still left to read. And that's not including all of the questions that go to my advice email and the support email and all the questions that go to my DM and inboxes. So me being able to use YouTube every day and pop in and answer a question, I mean, if I do a video every day of the year, it's 365 videos. But like I said, I got over 1,000 questions to still read in one inbox. So I thank y'all for supporting me and the work I'm trying to do. Makima, thank you so much for joining as a member. Dance to Unite. If you want to join the channel as a member so that you can join in on the chats and when we do Q&As on Sunday, the link is in the description of this video. It'll say to join the channel as a member. Now I want you to think about this and really ask yourself, are you prepared? Do you really want this year? And I'll take y'all questions in a little bit, but this really is not a Q&A. This is really me talking to you, and I want you to get your notebooks if you sitting down and kind of jot down some notes and really ask yourself, are you prepared? And do you truly want your 2020 to be better than your 2019? And a lot of times we hear this and people say it. Y'all give me 1 second. Let me try to do something here. I got to figure something out. Y'all hold on 1 second. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. I had to put my phone on Do Not Disturb. Notification was coming in. And we always say we want to do better. And I'll be honest with you. It's so many things out there talking about the secret to success and the secret to this and the secret to that. And what I realize, listen to me, what I realize is that nobody truly knows what they are talking about. Nobody knows what they're talking about. And understand what I'm saying is that people only know what they know based on what they have done. People can only speak from experience. So a person can have no success and can say, hey, here's the secret to success. Amber, thank you so much for joining as a member on the group. Amber is also a part of my mastermind, and Amber is a life coach and a speaker herself. So y'all make sure y'all subscribe to her YouTube channel. And people will say, hey, I got the secret to success. I got the secret to this, secret to that. And Vilka, bless you. And really, in today's world, some of those people could have accomplished nothing, but just know how to market. And the difference between those people And the other people, a lot of times, is just the willing to do, the willing to step out there, being willing to make it happen. And so, what you have to realize is you have to literally talk to yourself and make the mindset shift. Honestly, speak to yourself, say it out loud, and recite it to yourself. And I go through every day with my goals. And here's another thing that people don't really understand. With my goals, I don't write my goals down. I really, I don't write them down. I have not. I missed some of y'all joining as a member. Let me see who this was. Anadria, your favorite rapper. Thank you. God bless you. Latoya, bless you. Serrani, bless you. Hey, when somebody joins a member, y'all welcome them. Cause if I'm reading this, I won't be able to talk to you. So y'all welcome the new members who joining and the people who sending in a blessing. God bless you. But I don't write my goals down. Now I tell some of my clients to write their goals down if that's how their mind works. But what I want you to understand is everybody's mind works differently. Victoria, bless you. And you have to do what's right for you, because you can end up following somebody else's blueprint and it leads you astray. So you have to figure out, and the only way you're going to figure this out is through trial and error. You got to figure out what works for you. So waking up at 5 a.m. might not work for you. Writing your goals, doing a vision board might not work for you. I remember doing a vision board and it didn't help me at all, because that's not how my mind works. For me, it has to be on the tables of my heart. It has to be in my spirit. I say it every day. I say it all day. Whatever I'm trying to bring into my life, I'm repeating it over and over. And so this is what works for me. Now, you may have the mindset to where your mind may work best when you sit down and you get a pen and pad and you write it. As you're writing it, that etching on the paper is kind of inscribing in your mind and in your heart. And when you finish writing it, now you feel like it's real. You have declared and decreed that this is going to happen in your life. And so for you, that may be what you need to do. But what I'm noticing, and I'm gonna be honest with you here, I'll be honest with you, it's just those who do and those who don't. As I'm dealing with humans, what I'm realizing is that nobody is special. Nobody is any more special than the next person. Every single person has a unique set of gifts. And the only thing in between is who's willing to take action and who isn't. That's the only difference. Because if you are a human being, you were created for a reason, for a purpose, and you have a purpose to fulfill. And when you look at and you get close to people who are earning millions of dollars, what you'll realize is that there's nothing really special. It's just that they had the audacity to take action. So you got to be able to make up in your mind. Make up in your mind and make a decision that you're going to take action. And you got to shift your mindset. And I can't fully explain how the universe works. But one thing that I've realized is that when I speak something and I say I want to do something, I say I'm going to do something, things start to align. And what happens is when you speak it, now you've opened your mind, you've unlocked your mind. So now when you say, I want to meet this person, I want to meet that person, I want to do this, I want to do that. Now, whereas you could have just walked right past a person and not spoke because you were in your head and you were focused on yourself, now because you've spoken what you want to do, now you are in expectation of who am I going to bump into today? Who am I going to meet today that could be the person that I need? I got a goal right now that one of my companies, I want to sell my company. And so it's a company I want to sell because I'm not maximizing it, but yet it earns hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, but I'm not maximizing it and I'm not focusing on it. So I want to sell it, and I will cash out in a lump sum and then let somebody who's going to take it and maximize it and focus on it, let them take and be abundantly blessed from it. So what did I do? I went and I wrote somebody who I know is in that space. I wrote another person who I know is in that space, because now I'm actively seeking. And so I want you to think about that, and you have to speak it, and you have, if you need to write it, then write it, but it has to be a mindset shift, a decision that you make, so that you go from just sitting and waiting idly, and you go to, now I'm going to be diligent. Now I'm going to be focused. Now I'm going to take action. And what you'll realize is that as you start moving, it's moving towards you. As you take action and you create momentum, then the momentum starts to build, and momentum creates more momentum. So realize this and think about this. Think about your family. Think about your mother, your father, your grandmother, whoever raised you. Think about that person or those people. Sometimes it takes a village to raise a child. So I want you to think about that, and think about, because a lot of times it's a whole lot easier for us to evaluate somebody else, for us to look at somebody else and point out their problems. So what you have to do is look at somebody else, your friends and your family members, and look at and see, can you pinpoint the generational curses that they are suffering from? See, can you pinpoint where they are failing and why they are failing, and what part of their mindset is causing them to fail? Think about that. And when you do that, what you're going to realize is that how you were able to pinpoint where they are failing and why they're failing, there may be seeds of that in you. There may be seeds of that that you're struggling with yourself. Because a lot of times, the same things your mother or your father or your guardian, whoever raised you, a lot of times the same things that they are suffering with, you have pieces of that in you that you're suffering with, because it was a mindset that was passed down. And I had to check this self, and I had to make sure that I'm not passing down any limiting beliefs to my children, because I could say, well, you know what, you don't really need straight A's with no A minuses. I could say that because I didn't have that. But my oldest son has straight A's with no A minuses, and he's one of a few students in his grade doing that. And so I let him do that. And he wants to do that and do chess club, soccer, baseball, this and that, all over the place. We just got back home today from him being 5 days in Panama City Beach in an All-American soccer camp. And so he wants to be busy and moving. Instead of me speaking my limiting beliefs on him, I just I let him be his best. And so you got to think about who spoke something on you, who planted a seed of doubt in you. One thing I meet a lot of times is I meet a lot of people who, I hate to pull up on people, and I hate to pull up on people in some foreign and living abundant and stretching outside of the box, and then they look at me, and sometimes it's individuals who they had a wide open opportunity in this country, and they look at me and they say, well, how, I'm not understanding, how did you get ahead of me? And that's not a good feeling when you look around and you see people around you who are trapped by a mindset. And I see a lot of individuals who, I see some people who they brag all the time about their degrees. Oh, I got 2 degrees. Or I got 3 degrees. Or I got a master's. Or I got a doctorate. Oh, I got this, I got that. Oh, I did this, I did that. And somebody, thank you, Evan, for letting them know I ain't doing questions yet. This a talking session. So get your pen and pad. And I see people bragging about these certain accolades, but yet still stuck in the rat race, still going to a job they hate or don't even have a job to go to, and miserable. But they were told that that degree defines you, and that that degree is what success is, and that that will be all of your success. That's the limit of your success. That is what defines who you are in the world. And I'm bumping into people, and they're looking and they're like, well, how in the world you got out the rat race at 27 years old? How in the world you did this, you did that, you did that? People start to ask you and wonder, who told you that you were allowed to break the mold? Who told you that you could work from home? Who told you that you could start your own business? Who told you that you can earn hundreds of thousands of dollars or millions of dollars using your natural gifts? Who told you that? When you make a decision, people will start to inquire within and ask you, who gave you permission to be different? Who gave you permission to live an abundant lifestyle? Who gave you permission to define success, to redefine success, to redefine the dream in whatever country you're in? And that's what I want you to think about and really start to understand and ask yourself, what am I suffering from? What am I struggling with? What am I struggling from that comes from my environment, that comes from my family, that comes from my friends? What dream did I want to activate that somebody spoke doubt into instead of speaking life into? What happened? And why did I give up on my hopes and my dreams? And now this is the thing, is you gotta be, and when I say realistic, I don't mean realistic in the sense of you can't dream big. But what I mean is you gotta be practical. So you can't just say, oh, I wanna do this, I wanna do this, I wanna do this. And you got all of these things that just sound crazy and it sounds unattainable. It sounds, like you cannot accomplish that, and you say that so big so that you have a reason to fail, so that you have a right to fail, so that you can say, well, my dream was so big I could never get the help or the breakthrough that I needed. Instead of taking that macro dream and making it a micro dream and starting in your garage, in your living room, in your closet, starting where you are with what you have and activating the dream and doing what you feel you are called to do from that space, and then creating and taking one step at a time and then going from there. So you got to be realistic in the sense that you're going to have to do something where you are stepping outside of your comfort zone and you're saying, you know what? I'm going to change my life. Because you have to ask yourself, and you got to realize, well, how can these people without college degrees, without mentors, without training, go on to work for themselves and earn a living and create and redefine success? How can they do that and I'm not doing it? You will have to make your decision. Now, the next thing what I want you to think about is think about your circle. Think about who you are entertaining. Think about who you are talking to, who you're dealing with. Now, I remember I was talking about eagles and turkeys. I heard metaphor being used. And Kim, thank you for being a member. And I was talking about eagles and turkeys, and it was a lady, she wrote me and she said, hey Tony, I'm working with my son. I was reading with my son, and he was studying eagles. And one thing I learned is that eagles soar alone. And so for me, I don't really have a circle in the sense of my wife does not understand everything that I'm doing and trying to do. She just supports me. She may not have an idea to take it to the next level because it's not her area. It's not her gifting. So she kind of watches me work and supports me. And then she helps where I need help at when I can lean on her. I don't have anybody that I can go to and talk to about what I'm doing and what I'm building and them understand it and be able to add value to it. I don't have a mentor. So I don't have somebody that I can get on the phone with and say, "Hey, I'm getting ready to do this. What you think?" And then what I realize, nobody has the blueprint that God gave me. He gave it to me. So you have to understand that not everybody, most people around you may not have your vision because they don't have your lenses. So you cannot get frustrated and give up just because you don't have anybody to confide in. And the people that I probably could learn something from, they don't even do one-on-one sessions because once you cross 1 million followers online, most people stop doing one-on-one sessions. I remember it was somebody on YouTube and I was gonna book the person for a session and he told me what his hourly rate was and it was a crazy rate, but I was like, okay, send me the invoice. And he never responded. He moved on with his life because he's making so much money and got so much of a following, he don't even do sessions anymore. And so I don't have anybody that I can go and talk to and get useful feedback from. And most of the time, if I go and I talk to somebody, their feedback may just confuse me more than when I started. And so I say that to say, you're going to hear this advice from people that says, oh, you need a mentor, you need a mentor, you need a mentor. But what you're doing, you may not be able to get a mentor. So you got to go regardless. You got to implement your blueprint because you have the download and you may not understand how to do everything, but you have to do what you know how to do. And you have to make it make sense to you. Make your system make sense to you. Take the action that you know how to take. You may say, look, I don't know how to internet market, but I know how to go door to door, showing people my product that I just made or the food I'm cooking or the pictures I'm painting or the sessions I'm doing. I know how to hand out business cards at the mall, in the grocery store, at the job. I don't know how to, master YouTube and Facebook and Instagram, but I know how to hand out this flyer. So you have to create the system that makes sense to you. And then you will learn as you go. And then somebody may see what you're doing. I remember one time I tried to have a um a mentor, and the mentor, I was stronger in certain areas than he was, and he got jealous of that. And then when I was trying to help him, although I was learning from him, it was areas that I had strengths and I was trying to help him. And I remember one time I offered help and he said to me, this is a mentor mentee relationship. You are nothing to me. You can do nothing for me. That is what you just said to me is a business proposition. Don't you ever in your life make a business proposition to me. I do not need you. You cannot do anything for me. And I'm like, wow. If I had a mentee who was strong in an area that I'm weak in and they willing to help me in that area, I'm going to let him help me in that area. But I say that to say is sometimes while you so busy looking for a mentor, you may find somebody who sees a gift in you that they are jealous and envious of. And see, some people will take you under their wing so that you can't soar higher than them. Write that down. And so you have to be mindful of every person in your circle. You got to be mindful of who you're talking to, because your mama may pour salt in your wound. Your daddy, your sister, your spouse, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your best friend may rain on your parade because they cannot see what you see. They are trapped in a mindset that they don't believe that what you're trying to do is possible. Can you imagine going to somebody who the most they have earned in their life is $50,000 in a year, and you tell them that you will one day be earning $50,000 in a month? What will that do to their mindset? You remember Joseph. Joseph was, the baby at the time, and he went to his brothers and to his father, and he told him, he said, look, I had a dream. Joseph said, look, I had a dream, and I was on top, and y'all were bowing to me, like y'all were praising me, like I was above y'all. And they said, what? What? You above us? Oh, you crazy. Oh, you done lost your mind. Oh, all this we doing for you, you think you finna be over us? And Joseph's brothers wanted to kill him. And then the other brother said, no, let's not kill him. Let's just throw him in this here ditch. Throw him in the ditch. Oh, here comes somebody coming down the road. Let's sell him. Let's sell him into slavery, since he want to rule over us. Your friends and your family, you got to have your eyes and your ears open, because when you hear somebody, because see, you can love somebody. You can love somebody and you can trust them. But if they're trapped and they're lost, and they have these limiting beliefs that's blocking and hindering them, you can share with them. You can share with them your dream, and they can say to you, that ain't gonna work. That ain't gonna work because of this. And you're like, what? What in the world? I remember when I was building my infrastructure, a family member said to me, look, man, you doing too much. You doing too much. You got too much going on. You got too much going on. I said, listen, I ain't doing all of this. I'm just putting everything in place. This the infrastructure that everything gonna stand on. And then when I get to the right place, then I can activate. But I want it to all be built before I get there. So I'm just putting it in place. This the book. This the workbook. This the online course. This the seminar. This the tech project. This. I'm putting it in place. But when I was talking to people who didn't have vision, they couldn't see what I was talking about. So they just rain on the parade. And so you have to understand that. And you need people. You got to make sure the people that you're dealing with, anybody you talking to, that even if they cannot see your vision, they don't try to distort your vision. They don't try to blind your vision. They don't try to block your vision, but they just support you and they encourage you. Even if they don't understand it, they push you forward and they give you some words of encouragement. And that's what you got to be sure of. That's what you got to pay attention to. And what I want you to think about is start taking action. Start taking action. You got to double down. You got to double down. I remember I went to an event, and I was building my brand, building my business. I saw an event, and the event was $300. I didn't have $300. I did not have $300. But I took and I spent that $300. And it was my last 300. I went to the event and I think I had $100 in my account. And a guy was on the stage and he was talking. And he was talking about something that I needed, a course that I needed. And he was selling the course for $1,000. And I say, listen, okay, I went to him after and I say, listen, I got $100. So I'm gonna give you this here business card because I hadn't created a business bank account, created my business. So I'm gonna put this business card information down on this form. Don't run this until Monday. Don't run this till Monday. Monday came, he processed the order. This was like a Saturday. He processed the order. My account went into the negative $905. But see, a business account, it'll let you do that. Personal account, it wouldn't let me do that. Old Raggedy Bank America. But that business, they'll let you go over. I went into the negative $905. I share this story because I hear people will write in and I'm doing a $5 course sale. And they'll say, I don't have $5. $10. I don't have $10. And I say, you don't have time to be successful. You don't have the hunger to be successful. If you are not willing to sacrifice for yourself, ain't nobody else gonna be willing to sacrifice for you. If you are not willing to double down and invest in you, nobody else going to invest in you. So here I was going into the negative. I'm going into the negative, but guess what? Investors started coming to me. Hey, want to invest in you. Want to invest in you. People come to me today, and I've built some success today, and people will come and they'll say, look, Tony, I want to bless you. I want to give you a donation to your business. And I'm like, wow. It's because you bless me. And I'm like, wow, that's crazy. But nobody will invest in you unless they see you investing in yourself. So in 2020, stop making excuses. Stop telling yourself what you don't have, what you can't afford, what you cannot do, and start speaking, I have what I need. I have the money I need. I'm going to invest the money I need in this book or in this seminar or wherever you need to go, whatever you need, or even if it's just time, because time is money. So I literally eat all day today. I was driving 6 hours and I had a AirPod in, and the whole 6 hours I had an AirPod in and I'm listening the whole way. I already created success. I already created 11 companies, over 50 streams of income, but I'm still investing. I'm still investing. And so you have to do what you need to do to invest in yourself. Hey, I want to open up for some questions. Cause y'all know me now. I can talk now. I'm talk 4 hours on here. I told my wife this first day of the year, I got to go into the year with momentum. I got to create momentum. So she said she got some work to do. So I say, hey, I'm getting on this here live and I'm finna go. And if my phone start to die, I'm gonna have to unplug my microphone and plug in my charger. So you know that sound might get bad. Thank you so much. Thank you to the new members that's joining me. I really appreciate you joining the Blessed Tribe. Now, what we do in the Blessed Tribe, we do a Q&A on Sunday nights at 9 p.m. if I'm able to. This Sunday, I'll be out of town working with a college basketball team and speaking with them, doing a life skills session on Friday. And then they got a big game on Saturday. And so I don't fly back until Sunday. So I don't know if I'll be in time for the Q&A. But for those of you who asked the question earlier before I was taking them, if you post it now, I may be able to see it. Um, Narisha McLeod, Tony, I definitely want to attend the event Saturday 11th. I have $500 but haven't paid my rent yet. That's due on the 3rd and won't get paid until the 9th. What should I do? Pay your rent. Pay your rent. You need a roof over your head now. You get paid on the 9th. Then if the Lord make a way, but you done put it out there now, you done put it out there. So now you said, look, this is what I need in order to become a certified life coach, to get the training I need to start my life coaching business, is $500. So on the 9th, you might be able to do it. The event not till the 11th. So one thing I've learned about, I don't know who or what you believe in. Myself personally, I believe in God. Okay, I know it's a lot of y'all atheists and a lot of y'all agnostics. I don't know what that is, but me myself personally, I believe in God. And one thing I've learned about God, I remember it was not. I remember one time I was laying down, and I said I was going to sleep. I said, Lord, listen, Lord, hey, Lord, I got some invoices out there. Lord, I need an invoice to be paid. Lord, G, touch that lady heart. I said, touch that lady heart to pay that invoice. And the invoice was probably $3,000. And I said that prayer about midnight. When I woke up that next morning, the invoice was paid. And the person paid it in the middle of the night. The time it came in was like 3 a.m. I say, look here. I say, what a God I serve. I remember because I started building business. So when I built business, I expanded. So my bills went up, my investments went up, everything went up. I remember one time I needed $11,000. And I said, Lord, I need 11,000 in 2 weeks. And I put it out there. I said it to my mama and everything. Guess what? I think 15,000 came in. I serve God. I don't know who y'all serve, but one thing God has showed me over and over and over, there's a God in heaven. There's a God in heaven. What I mean by that is in the spiritual realm, there's good spirit. There's a good spirit, and that's God, and there's an evil spirit. That's the adversary. So you got to name it and claim it. You got to put it out there what you need. And see, somebody might come to you and say, you know what? I heard, and see, when you want something, you got to speak it to people. You might be talking to your best friend. Your best friend might have a 800 credit score. So your best friend might have a Chase card that's got a $25,000 limit on it. When you talking to your friend, you might say to your friend, I really want to become a life coach because I need another stream of income doing something that I would love to do. And you say, well, how you going to become a life coach? And you say, well, I saw this course and it's $500, but I'm saving up for it. You know what? I didn't get you nothing for Christmas. I'm going to get you that course. Here you go. So when you want something, you got to speak it. You got to put it out there. You never know where your blessing going to come from. You never know where it's going to come from. So that's what I mean by speaking. Now, what this sister Hilton did, I don't know if I'm pronouncing your name right. Palange, 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 Palange. Is that French? Forgive me, but God bless you. God bless you. Because I don't know if you paid me in rands, but it say $49.99. God bless you. My Lord, give her 1,000-fold increase. My goodness. I still ain't got my iPhone 11, but I'm getting ready to get it now. My wife told me I need to stop playing and go and get the iPhone 11. So I want this picture to be better for y'all. Because see, this is another thing. People say they want to do YouTube. And they think they got to have all this expensive equipment, all this right here. I got this little thing my wife bought me that got these lights on it. And my phone stuck. It got a little thing that stick onto the mirror. And the phone stick inside of there. And I'm talking to y'all on my iPhone 10. And I bought a $12 lav mic. And I plug it into the phone. And it's sitting on the desk in front of me. And that's my setup. Ain't got all these fancy cameras and all this team, all that. No. Talking to you. Live and direct in effect. So you got to make do with what you have. And I told y'all now, listen, I told y'all, and this is a lesson on procrastination. I told y'all the courses on TonyGasselsAcademy.com were $5. And I left them $5. But I say on the first, it's going up. Because this is a sale. And I know people are so used to sales tactics and snake oil salesmen, you probably procrastinated. If you go to TonyGasselsAcademy.com right now, you're going to be upset. Because the courses have went back to the market price. For those of you who took advantage of them same courses for $5, look at Carmel Kisser. God bless you. Now go look at them courses. You're too late, Clarabelle. Miss Perkins says she used procrastinate, but she bought 3 ASAP. Now go look at your savings. Okay, I see. Bought over 6. Go look at your savings. Go look at the site now. They at the market rate. But the reason why I do that, because I want people to understand about procrastination. I want people to understand that it ain't everybody out here is not a snake oil salesman trying to scam you and all of this. When I say I'm doing something, I'm doing it from the heart. And it's gonna be crazy ridiculous. It's gonna be a crazy ridiculous gift from the heart. But when it's going back, it's going back. Clarabelle, go check and see. I ain't gonna tell you. It still ain't full market value, but it ain't $5 no more. Why would a man go through extreme measures to please a woman in the bedroom? Example, would get a rub, burns on knees until he is bleeding. Is that considered self-hate? Oh, Nika, you nasty. We're not talking about knee burns in the bedroom. Nika in here. And I'm Talanda, God bless you. How much are your one-on-ones? You know what? The one-on-one is supposed to go up on the first today, but I have not changed the link yet. It was 220. It was supposed to be 250. Now, it's people who have not done half of what I've done as far as brand wise, and they charge twice what I charge. A lot of people who built their brand to a certain point, they don't even do one-on-ones anymore. The reason why I do them is because I still want to keep my finger on the pulse of what's going on in the world. I don't ever want to be untouchable. Jesus, the greatest man to walk the face of the earth, and you still could touch the hem of his garment. And so, Alicia, thank you. Alicia Lewis, bless you. So that's why I still do one-on-ones, but I'm not accepting clients right now in this month because my whole January is booked up with clients and it booked into February. So I don't want to just keep accepting people. Tamika got 9 courses. Whew. Now sometimes I have to pray because when I see people go to getting all them courses and I'm like, Lord, I'm just giving these courses away. This is a $200 course I'm giving away for $5. But the Lord remind me why he called me and what he told me to do. Uncle Tony, would you advise anyone to take a pay cut following a dream job? A job that's not lucrative in the beginning, but will be in 1 to 5 year period. Absolutely. Take the pay cut. If it's a dream job, take the pay cut. Because it's not all about money. The money gonna come. And if you're doing what you love. But bigger than that, everybody's not an entrepreneur. But everybody has something they can add to the world. So while you take that job, but think about what you can do outside of that job. Think about what you can do, what you can create that you can't be fired from. I want you to think about that. I'm looking for the questions, but it's a lot of people writing, so I can't see them all. If you posted a question earlier and I missed it, post it in here again. Alicia, God bless you. The one-on-ones, you have to email support@tonygaskins.com, but I'm not accepting clients right now, so they probably will tell you to write back in February. Daisy, bless you. You really doubled down. And I'll tell you now, the courses, even though they went up, they still are not all the way where they're supposed to be. Other influencers, they laugh at my prices. But I'm not out here just trying to gouge people and just charge people all this money just because you can do it. That don't make sense to me because God watching. You got to answer to God. God know your heart. Hey, Tony, blessing to you and your family. I'm in transition of healing after leaving abuse, but I'm finding it difficult not to have anger towards my baby daddy. How can I not have anger? the way you're gonna not have anger is you're gonna have to do the work. Meaning you're gonna have to do therapy or do coaching or take the courses, read the books, read Make It Work, read Single is Not a Curse, read Mrs. Right. And what's going to happen is you're going to get new knowledge. And when you get the knowledge, you're going to get an understanding. And when you have knowledge and you have an understanding, it's going to build your confidence. And when it starts to build your confidence, now you're going to start to understand why your baby daddy is who he is and why he is the way he is. And what you also have to do in this process is you have to seek to understand. So when you seek to understand, you're going to realize as you go through his story, he maybe was abused physically. He could have been molested. He could have been raped. He could have been drugged, through the concrete by his dad. He could have been left for dead. He could have been through so much that when you seek to understand, then be understood, as Stephen R. Covey says, you're going to be like, you know what? I can't even be mad at him because with everything he's gone through and everything that he's lived through, it could have been a whole lot worse. Like, what could I expect? And I think sometimes that's what we don't do. We just think about us, and then instead of thinking about the other person and why they did what they did. So get that understanding. But then the next thing what you have to do is you got to understand yourself. And you got to understand why you allowed it to happen. You got to understand what you did wrong. And then you have to accept responsibility, and you got to be able to say, you know what? That's my baby daddy because I was having sex outside of marriage. And that's my baby daddy because I didn't get the knowledge about healthy relationships and love. So I did not see the red flags. And so once you see this and now you realize, you know what? It's a lot of work that I have to do to grow as a person and get better. Now you stop pointing the blame as far as what he did to me. And you start saying, what could I have done differently? And this is the number one thing that I had to do in my life. And this is about becoming a man, becoming an adult, becoming a woman, is accepting responsibility for your life. And even if it did not, even if you could not control what happened to you, accept responsibility for how you respond to it. So some things happen to us and we don't have a choice, but accept responsibility for how you are dealing with it and how you are responding to it. And once you do that, everything in your life starts to change. I grew up in a place that was against me. Ku Klux Klan came to my middle school and I'm 35 years old. What am I doing seeing Ku Klux Klan? I thought that was just going to be on a movie. And so I grew up with this hate and this disdain, this dislike for the opposite race, and blame my life and my circumstances and everything on the opposite race because that's what everybody around me was doing. And I had to come to a place to say, you know what? I'm responsible for me. And can't nobody block my blessings. Can't nobody stop what God has for me. Because God does not see skin color. God does not see gender. God does not hear an accent when I talk. What God has for me is for me, and can't nobody block that. So now I pull up on them and living blessed and abundant. And they look and they see, how did you get that? How did you get where you are? And you was a slave. How did you get where you are and we didn't give you education in your school system? How did you get where you are and mentors were not afforded to you? It's because I accept the responsibility for my life. And I stopped blaming my mama, my daddy, the white man, the government, my exes. And so when you get to that place, that's when things gonna change. Hey, if y'all post a question while I'm talking, it might get lost in the shuffle. I may miss it. When is it appropriate to reveal that I was previously engaged due to me only being 25, would that be a red flag to a man? Make him think twice about dating me. I've not been engaged for 4 months. Engagement really don't matter because you were not married. So engaged, you still was single. You still was on a hope and a dream. You still was on a wish and a prayer. I was engaged 4 times before I got married to my wife, and that's because I would ask a woman to marry me a month into knowing her, because that was a part of my game. I would be telling a woman I love her in the first 2 weeks. So engaged really don't matter, and it don't matter to a man. It's actually not even necessary. If you was married, that's different. But engaged, men get engaged to women just to buy time. So you didn't get married because he knew you weren't his wife. Like I say, I was engaged 4 times, but I knew now one of them wasn't gonna be my wife. But I got engaged because it buy you some time. That's why men get engaged a lot of times today. It just buy some time, just make it look real. So to the next man, that's neither here nor there. He don't care about that because he done been engaged, but he ain't telling nobody because he know why men do that. It don't mean a thing. Now, if you get married, that's different. I just purchased the entrepreneurship course and paid the 97. I really want to create something for myself. God knows my needs and desires. Now listen, Narisha, God bless you. God bless you. You paid $97. And I'm gonna tell you that course right there, you still got that at 50% off. Now, if I was like some of these internet marketers out here, that course would be $499. But I just don't move like that in my blood. I'm growing over time. But with that entrepreneurship course that you just bought, listen to me. With the knowledge that I put in that course has earned me millions of dollars. So you just paid $97 for something that has produced millions in my life. And that's real. That ain't no cap. You just paid $97. So what I'm saying by this is don't just be listening to it while you driving. Sit down and take it serious like you in a college class. Sit down and take notes and go through it 3 times, 3 different ways until you truly, truly understand and comprehend. Write down each thing that you write. Tony has a Y in his name. Thank you, Caramel. Now, if somebody put an I on there, I is with a for a woman name now. But sit down and go through that and take notes and break it down and understand it and apply it. Because entrepreneurship with purpose, what that's talking about is using your natural gifts to build a business. Because see, I could be selling y'all tea, I could be selling coffee, but I don't know what that's gonna do to you, to your liver, to your kidneys. I don't know how that's gonna affect you. I could be selling you a map to put on your wall, but that's not gonna change your life. So what I'm trying to do is use my natural gifts to impact the lives of others. And so that's what entrepreneurship with purpose is about, is using your natural gifts and giving it purpose. Even if you're selling something that ain't necessarily going to change somebody's life, the money that you make, you take and you change somebody's life with that. If that means starting a nonprofit organization to work with the youth. Perfect timing on this here question. How does it pop in right here when I'm done talking? What do you do when you find yourself isolated in every way? Parents both recently deceased, friends scarce, and the only men approach you talking about D, baby, what do I do in the meantime? First, you're going to have to get you a picture because you're in the blessed tribe. So you're going to need to add your picture to your profile. 2, you're going to have to get your real name because I do not know how to pronounce Trish JK1. So you're going to have to get your real name. The reason why, because I want to answer questions from real people. Because this right here, I don't know what kind of question this is. I don't know if this old bot question, this old play question, So first, I need you to show up in the world and come and be seen. My daddy had a saying, be seen in 2019. Then his saying for 2020 is plenty in 2020. So get you a picture, put your real name on here, And then let's go from there. And after that, what I want you to realize is, remember this thing. The lady told me this when I mentioned eagles. Eagles soar alone. Understand what I'm telling you. I got a friend in Jesus. Like, I could talk to my wife, but she gonna get tired of hearing about what I gotta talk about. So I literally have to talk to myself. I gotta talk to myself. I have to talk to my spirit. I gotta talk to God. So what you gotta understand is that when you feeling lonely, when you feeling by yourself, that's not always a bad thing, because that means you hearing a solo message. You hearing a solo message, and you hearing something that it is for you to implement, and you don't have to argue and go back and forth with it with nobody, and then you don't have anybody speaking something in your life that does not apply to you. How much is it to get you to ghostwrite a book? I reached out to you on Instagram, but maybe you didn't answer because my page is private due to my situation. Um, you got your name on here and your little picture on here, Missy Adams. Ghostwriting, I'm not accepting ghostwriting clients at this time in 2020. I just accepted my last ghostwriting client on December 30th or 31st, and so I gotta finish up a book for a client and then the next client. But I will say I have other writers in my company that I work with. So if you need something, then you can, get it ghost written like that. But myself personally, I'm not accepting ghostwriting clients. And I was wondering now, because you put that shut up the first time, your back got blocked. So I'm glad you corrected that with a LOL. Because I about block you. Hey, now don't be slipping up like that. But some of these questions should be private. Miss Perfectly, you saying questions that I'm not even seeing. And then you spell my name with an I. It's spelled with a Y. God bless you. But we do have ghostwriters. Ghostwriting on the low end for a new ghostwriter is like 2,500, and then my fee is 10,000 and up. The other industry individuals, they charge like 50,000. I don't recommend ghostwriting because I feel like if you could write a sentence, you could write a book. So what may be best for you is author consulting. And so I can help you as an author consultant and give you the outline and walk you through it so it makes it very easy for you. So just email support@tonygaskins.com. A lot of people can write a book, and everybody should write a book, but a lot of people can write and don't realize that they can write a book. Being seen, I am absolutely terrified. And speaking of being seen, I am absolutely terrified of becoming an online entrepreneur and having to reveal my identity by doing videos on even simply having my voice online. Terrified of haters, living life. Hey, it take a long time to get haters. I tell you that. I have 3 million supporters online and I still barely have haters. It take a lot to get a hater. It take a lot to get a hater. It take a long time to get a hater. So trust me, you could do a whole lot. You could do a whole lot. Like at 50,000 followers, 100,000, you still really won't have haters. So don't get caught up in that. Don't get caught up in that. And typically the haters are bots. And by the time you get real haters, you'll be so blessed and abundant that you don't even get mad with them. You feel bad for them. You just pray for them. Like it don't bother you. It don't bother you because by that time you will have learned so much. Happy New Year. I have a question for you. How can I improve myself? Keep doing what you're doing. Keep showing up. Keep learning. Keep growing. Oh my, Taj, type your question again. Taj, type your question again. What would be your advice for working on yourself? Make sure that you feeding your mind, that you getting knowledge. Stop listening to so much music as much and listen to things that's gonna move your life forward, things that's gonna push you forward. Oh my gosh, you can't copy and paste. Type it again. Hopefully it wasn't that long. Kelly, thank you for joining. How to see through men pretending to be celibate and saved in a short amount of time. Been celibate 6 years. So many fakers. Jasmine, every man is pretending to be abstinent, to be abstaining from sex. I'm gonna fire you waving at me. That's every man. And so, and what I mean by that is a man could actually be committed to abstaining until marriage and until he see you dropping it like it's hot. When you get ready to, and you drop that thing like it's hot, he that abstinence out the window. That abstinence out the window. So the only way to be able to identify a fake is to keep your legs closed, because a person playing a role will eventually forget their act. A person playing a role will forget their act. So it will not be long. It will not be long. I recently stopped doing makeup because of my IG followers. I know it's my passion. Keep doing your makeup. Keep doing your makeup. And here's the thing: in the Entrepreneurship with Purpose course, I saw an entrepreneur guy. He got my course for $10. That's why I had to raise the prices on my courses too, because it's other people who do what I do, and they was going and getting my course for pennies on a dollar, and then they was stealing all of the content, and then charging $2,000 to share my content with their following. But in there, I go through a proprietary process that I created where you list your gifts and you list your passions. And your gifts and your passions may not be the same thing. So I can have a passion for singing, but that does not mean my gift is singing. So what you have to realize is you may be passionate about something that you're not actually gifted at. And then you may be gifted at something that you're not actually passionate about. Because sometimes we're passionate about something that is challenging us, that is a challenge to us, and it may not be your gift. But if you know that it is your gift as well as your passion, then you got to keep going. If you know that it's just a passion, but it may not be your gift, then you have to identify your gifts and become passionate about your gifts. And then your gift will make room for you. And then when your gift makes room for you, it'll start to produce some income for you. And then you can sow into your passions and turn your passions into skills or talents. So understand that and make sure you understand the difference. Let me see. Anointed Stiletto say, don't forget to hit that like button, everyone. Thank you. Anointed Stiletto. Oh my gosh. I'm looking for your question. Nakosha, say you've been trying to get an answer since Sunday. I'm gonna look for you. Put it back in here. See, a lot of time, hey, this is a lesson in life. Now, y'all hold on. If you getting ready to post something, if y'all just posting random stuff, then y'all sending the questions further and further and further up. So if you're not posting a question, just hold on a second. I know you got them happy thumbs, but just hold on a second. This is a life lesson right here. I want y'all to get this life lesson. Is a lot of times when I'm doing a Q&A, I will see a person post. They'll post something like what the coach just post. Um, Dang, I've been trying to get an answer since Sunday. I saw that. But right then, had you post your question, I would have saw your question. But because you post your complaint, I saw your complaint. That's a life lesson. Don't spend your time worrying and complaining and living in doubt or frustration. And I'm saying this as not as serious about a Q&A, but in life. A lot of times we will go into life And because something didn't happen for us, we got our head down and we moping and we complaining because something went wrong. But if we would have had our head up and been enthusiastic and still looking and in expectation of our blessing, the moment you put your head down would have been the moment that you got your blessing. So the point of this and the lesson of this is don't waste your time in life complaining about what you did not get and what didn't work out for you. But instead, every single day, be in expectation of your blessing. I don't spend time moping or complaining or being down. I just, every single day, blessings coming, opportunities coming. I know it's coming. It's on the way. I know it's getting ready to happen. It's on the way. I know money coming, doors finna be open, opportunity. Who I need about to show up in my life, the very person I need getting ready to show up in my life. Lord, I need a software developer. And then guess what? A software developer started following me on Twitter. Me and him talking in the DM right now. But because I'm looking for a software developer, I notice him out of over 330 some thousand followers on Twitter. How did I notice a random person who is of another race and another state, another demographic started following me, and I read his bio and it says software developer, and now we having a conversation in the DM. Why? Is because I was in expectation that when I said this is what I need, I knew that eventually it's gonna come. So I'm looking. So I want y'all to get that lesson. And I see that all the time. Now I saw a question in here. Now, I'm looking for y'all question now. Nikosha, I don't know if it's Nikosha or Nakusha. Nah, but forgive him. Jasmine Ivory, that's a whole word. I posted my question 26 times and you answered. LOL, praise God. Hey, I'm going to get to it now. I'm going to see it eventually. I'm 24, single mom. I had 2 semesters left to get my bachelor's, but taking the classes drains my spirit so much. I am getting pressed from family to go back. Should I just go back or pursue my dream? Baby P, I'm in the same situation. I think I needed 120 credits or something to graduate. I think I got 100. I got 20 left, and I went to college for. I went to college for 8 years. So technically, I got a doctorate, but I just don't have the paper for the wall. But you go to college 8 years, you got a doctorate. And so I gave myself a doctorate. I did not get their paper. I did not get a bachelor's. I didn't even, because I was at a 4-year university, I didn't even get an associate's. But I know I got a doctorate because I went to them people's school for 8 years. Okay. And I'm 20 left, but I thought about going back. But then I asked myself, what would be the point of it? To prove to man that I can do it? It's not going to change my life. It's not going to make my life any better. It's not going to, I'm not going to be able to charge you more for coaching just because I got a bachelor's degree, because coaching is not based on education. Aaliyah, God bless you. Somebody had put a thing in here, and it was a super chat, and I missed it. There you go. Nagalala, Nagujala, Dadir, Naglia. Please forgive me if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. I'm from Florida, but I see where you at. Dadir is your last name. What do you do when you have been engaged for a while? Hold on right quick. It won't let me pull your question up. And live together, and you and your fiance are arguing about how much time he spends online working, how to cope. You've been engaged for a while. and you live together, and he is focused on being online working, what do you do? What you're going to have to do is you're going to have to put your foot down. It comes a point in time where you got to give an ultimatum, where you got to get to the place where you say, look, I've been in this rat race for too long. It's not going anywhere. We're running in circles. I feel like I'm in a maze. You playing me like a fool. You're using and abusing me. You're taking me for granted. I'm getting ready to move on with my life. And you're going to have to do that. And when you get to that place, that's when you see, that's when you realize where your fiance, the person you with, where they at in their life. But understand this, you have to realize that just because you engage, just because you live together, don't mean you going somewhere. And a lot of times we do this and you putting the cart before the horse. So what happened is when you get engaged, just like what this person just said, there should have been a date following the engagement. You gotta be dating with a purpose. So it needs to be, okay, we engaged. All right, the next conversation is when the wedding date. The wedding date should be no more than a year out. And really, it need to be 6 months out. To be honest with you, you can go to the courthouse the next week. And then you could do the reception or the actual wedding when you get the money for it. But you can go to the courthouse and lock it in if it's love. And I remember my wife wanted to have a wedding because she had expensive friends. Her friends had money. And so they was gonna have big weddings and she knew it. But she didn't have no money. Her friends and family had money. Her family didn't have the money for the type of wedding she was envisioning. My family didn't have the type of money for the wedding she was envisioning. So when I showed her what my budget can do, she turned her nose up at it. She was, I'm not having a wedding in there. And I was like, listen, this the wedding hall that we got where I'm from is $2,500. You want to have your wedding, this where it's gonna have to be at. And my grandma, God rest her soul, she was still living. My grandma said, baby, if that girl love you, she'll go down to that courthouse. And I went to my wife and I said, listen, my grandma said, if you love me, you'll go to the courthouse. And my wife looked at me crazy. She was like, she wasn't feeling it. But guess what? We went on to that courthouse. And now we getting ready to celebrate 13 years of marriage. And so what I mean by that, if a man love you, he gonna take you, he'll take you right on to that courthouse. He ain't got to wait for no fancy wedding. You shouldn't be waiting on no fancy wedding. If y'all in love, cause see, when you just playing house, that's how you get stuck playing house. Cause it's never the right time to get married. It's never the right time. You just got to do it. Because you always gonna be arguing. You always gonna be fussing. So even if y'all married, y'all still will be fussing about him being online too much. But when you just engage, that just prolonging the wedding. Now let me see if I is an ultimatum worth it if you're breaking up? No, it's not. If you breaking up and you know it's a done deal, you know you have too many deal breakers, go on about your business. Just go on about your business. France, Tony, you such a serious face, even when you pronounce wrong. Yeah, them names be tripping me up. Y'all don't be telling no jokes on here now. I don't be telling no joke. I ain't no comedian. Y'all, if you get your laugh, that's because you got a good heart. You got a good spirit. I told this guy I love him, and he said he'd always love me as a friend. He's romantic and calls to talk 2+ hours daily, but still calls me his friend. What do I do, especially when he calls? Was this your question? Oh my Tosh? I don't know if that was the question, but I found this one. I don't know if this was the one you were trying to get in, but listen to me. Listen to me clearly. Listen to me. Listen to me. Friend, I got to go. I ain't got the time. Uh, it was good talking to you, friend, but I'm a little tied up. Okay, all right, you take care. We'll talk. Just like that. Just I got to go. I got to go. If a man talking to you 2+ hours a day and he calling you just his friend, he might got a boyfriend. He, he yeah, he got a boyfriend. That's the only way a man, because it's a heterosexual man not gonna talk to a woman 2 hours a day and get nothing from it. He either gonna be with you, like y'all is together, or he trying to sleep with you. But if he giving you 2+ hours a day and calling you his friend, that's because he got a boyfriend. That's what that is. Because he can't have a girlfriend. Because if he got a girlfriend and he talking to you 2+ hours a day, that means he love you. But he love you right now, like, girl, please, sister, girl, please. But he might not say it like that. He might not talk like that. But he got a boyfriend. And that's the only thing I can sum it up to be honest with you. To be honest with you. Because, see, I'm a man, and I played all the games. I played all the games. The only way a heterosexual man talking to a woman 2+ hours a day is that's his wife. That's his wife, or he trying to get her in a position to where she gonna feel comfortable enough to drop her guards to get on her back. That's it. That's it. Point blank period. Y'all, you hear me? Trust me when I tell you. Trust me when I tell you. But see, them 2 hours you giving to him, you could shut that down, close your eyes to that, and open up for your husband. That's 2 hours you could be giving your husband. But a man on your phone for 2 hours, even if he calling you for 2 hours one day out the week, that's too much to be talking about we friends. No, he wasting all the time. Somebody else need that time. And so what's happening is you talking, communication is what make you fall in love. And so you'll be falling in love with a man who is not available to you. Are you gonna do the podcast anymore? Really enjoy them. I'm trying to find a time for that podcast. I'm trying to find a time, but to be honest with you, La Carmen, to be honest with you, it's so much social media. Like, I got the YouTube, and you got Instagram, you got Facebook, you got Twitter. It's just so much to keep up with. And I was doing the podcast, but when I was doing the podcast, I wasn't doing YouTube. But YouTube actually is more, they bigger, because when you doing a podcast, you on your own. So you doing your own thing. So what I mean by that is you just doing a bunch of podcasts, but it's not monetized. So you taking all of this time that you got to be feeding your family, and it's all for nothing, because you only reaching a certain amount of people because you own your own, because they don't have a podcast outlet that markets it for you. But with YouTube, more than 50% of my video views come from people who are not subscribed to my channel. So Google is so big and so powerful that it just makes more sense for me to do videos. And what I say is listen to it just like you listen to it, a podcast. Just turn it on, turn it on and just let it play. The phone could be sitting down somewhere and just listen to, because what I was doing on the podcast, I'm eventually going to start doing on the video, just because for me right now, it makes more sense. Somebody said, do you have a marketing team? I don't have any team, Ebony. I don't have any team. And I'll be honest with you, Star Diva, God bless you, I don't have any team. I got an assistant that answers the emails that come in, support at TonyGash.com, and my business is all that overseen by my wife. And so that's her, she my brand manager. But as far as a marketing team and all of that, I really don't do all that kind of stuff, marketing and all of that. Just because, it's a lot of people say they could do something but can't really do it, and they just be stealing your money. And ain't marketing a bit more than the man on the moon. I paid a company that said they was doing some marketing. I paying them $5,000 a month. I look up 3 months in, and people ain't did nothing. I flushed $15,000 down the toilet. Make it a radio show instead of a podcast. I think it would be better. Well, France, you got to own the radio outlet. You know, you can't make it a radio show if you ain't got a radio network, you ain't got a radio outlet. So them people got to choose me. I can't just choose them and say, hey, y'all put my radio show on the air. You know. So either way, you can't really, they got to come to me and give me a radio show because they own the outlet. Otherwise, this my radio show. It just come with video. So that's how y'all got to look at this. This is my podcast right here now. It's a video podcast on YouTube. Because see what YouTube does, y'all notice, if unless you have premium, on some of the videos you may be watching an ad. Even if you hit skip on the ad, YouTube still will give my channel credit for that. So if they put ads on the video, then they'll monetize it. And although it can fluctuate, it's still something. It still shows you that, you know, it's a marketplace and that they trying to honor the creators and to say, look, y'all helping us with our network, we want to help y'all. And so for the longest, you know, I just was getting, they'll send me $200 a month, and for years and years and years. But they working on it and they building it. And so I'm focusing on me putting my energy somewhere that it's gonna make sense for my time and for my family. Now, one of y'all hit that lotto, then you could sow into the business, and we could partner. You could be an investor. We could do all the podcasts and radio you want to do. How do you persevere while using your gifts when you really don't have the passion or drive to do what your gift requires? The loyal maverick. You don't have the passion or the drive to do what your gift requires. Well, what you have to do is you got to connect it to purpose. So if you have a gift, but you haven't given your gift purpose, then you won't have the passion or the drive. On the first day of the year, I wouldn't necessarily want to be on here talking for 2 hours. But I'm doing this because I connected my gift to purpose. So I realized, okay, Tony, your gift has a purpose of helping people come out of the mess that they in, helping give people the confidence, the motivation, and the strength they need to come out of the situation that they're in. And so I gave it purpose, and that's what gives me the strength to get on here on the first day of the year and talk for 2-3 hours. So you gotta give your gift purpose. Who is it for? Who is it gonna benefit? How is it gonna make the world a better place? Whose life is it gonna touch? Nalula is my name. God bless you. That's a beautiful name. Nalula. Okay, so the GA silent. God bless you. The motherland. That's a motherland name now. He wants a courthouse marriage and says we can go anytime, and I want a beautiful wedding. I guess that's my husband. He want a courthouse marriage. That's what you need to do. Go to the courthouse. And that's right there what hinders a lot of women. Y'all have your blessing right in hand, and you'll flush your blessing down the toilet. Carrie J, God bless you. Thank you so much. You'll flush your blessing down the toilet because of your preferences. See, a wedding has nothing to do with a marriage. A wedding has nothing to do. Wedding just have you upside down because you're not getting a wedding for free. So that wedding, the money you spend on a wedding could be a down payment on a house. The money you spend on a wedding could be put on the market, buying stocks or going into your IRA that's gonna grow. That you put $10,000, $20,000, $30,000, $50,000, whatever you spend on a wedding, put that in your retirement fund. That same $50,000 might be $300,000 when you 65. But you do a wedding, you done maxed out credit cards, you done spent all this stuff, and all you may have to show for a wedding is a divorce in 5 years. So people really need to get past all of that and start planning a marriage instead of planning a wedding. And because I thank God, I'm going on 13 years of marriage. So one day I'm gonna have a big, beautiful wedding when I get the money for it. Right now, I don't have the money to flush down the toilet, and that's what a wedding is. Cause that's just a ceremony. Don't mean nothing. Ain't got nothing to do with love. Ain't got nothing to do with love. It's just like these holidays that they just want you to buy all these gifts and don't have nothing to do with the reason they try to tell you it's about. And so that's what a wedding is. I much rather have love than have a wedding. Have love and have a marriage than have a wedding. You need to be at that courthouse tomorrow. You hear me? Rhonda, it's not like you working. I don't know who you talking to. You must be talking to somebody else. Cause if this ain't work, you ain't never been on this side of these lights. So you must be talking to somebody else. Grown boys intimate with a woman several times and develop a soul tie? Does he lose himself emotionally, experience pain, or does his ego dominate all feelings? He develops a soul tie for sure. But like you say, his ego does dominate his feelings. He doesn't lose himself emotionally most times because when he starts to feel weak, he goes and he gives himself to somebody else. So a lot of times men are not doing the healing. Instead, men are going to another woman to as a band-aid on that wound instead of giving that wound time to heal. Sierra, God bless you for joining. So understand that. See, when a woman lies down with a man, in a lot of cases, in most cases, a woman lying down to sleep with a man means something. She's trying to send a message to him to say, I'm giving you my body because I want you to give me a commitment in return. And women don't understand that what that act means to a woman, it does not necessarily mean the same to a man. So a man will take that from you and want nothing more from you than your body. And so that's why you gotta take your body off the table. You got to stay off your back, and you got to keep your eyes open and your ears open and pay attention, and then get you a ring and get you a commitment, and then you can get on your back, because now you have what you want out the deal, which is a commitment. And what he want out the deal is some love making. And then after he get the love making, then he starts to fall in love. But that right there, that's too deep. That's too deep in a man's mind for y'all to understand as women, because it don't make any sense. It does not make sense. I totally understand it does not make sense, but men and women do not make sense to each other. What are your thoughts on a partner who wants a prenuptial agreement? Do you think that's a deal breaker? I don't think it should be. No, it's not a deal breaker. It's not a deal breaker. It's just a prenup. But, and it's to each their own. I mean, does he have something to protect? If he broke wanting a prenup, then he's doing the most. He tripping. But if he has millions, then a prenup may make sense. But if he's not a millionaire, then he ain't got nothing to protect. And so, me personally, I would not do a prenup. I wouldn't ask my woman for a prenup, because if I don't believe that we gonna be until death do us part, then I wouldn't be marrying you in the first place. So to me, a prenup is a plan to fail. And I don't believe in plan B's. Plan A got to work. Plan A is the only plan. If you got a fail safe, then you probably gonna fail when it comes to that. So I don't believe in that. Blessed B, can you please scroll up to my question? Let me see if I could. Now, see, right there, Blessed B, you could have typed your question again. Somebody say, just be a member. Just became a member. Song 86, Sister Love, God bless you. Thank you for joining as a member. If y'all notice, the members are the only ones who can write in here, and I do that, and y'all see how many messages coming. So imagine if this chat was open for everybody, it'd be way too much for me. So I just make this to where only members can comment, and it's hard to keep up. If our questions are not answered here, is there a way to get a question answered by email? Miss Adams, ask your question again, because I saw your name. What you asked? You asked something that was, what you asked? You asked something about not wanting to be public. Or I think you said something about not, because your page private because of your situation. Ask your question again. What if a ring is an issue? What do you feel about symbols like tattoos or cheap rings? Or is that just an excuse for him to delay? It's an excuse, but it's only an excuse if you allow it to be. And I need to be able to get a ring. I need to be able to get a ring. And then you just like, well, okay, I get it. I understand. Then that's on you too. But if you sit him down and say, listen to me, listen to me. A ring means nothing if you don't have love. So for me, I could not care less about a ring. That's just a thing. What I'm worrying about is, do we have love? I wear a rubber band on my finger. I will wear a rubber band. My wife married me. Her ring cost $69 because I did not have any money. It cost $69. It cost $69, and it was off of QVC or HSN, the Home Shopping Network. It was a 3-carat fake ring, 3-carat cubic zirconia with some fake gold that turned your finger green. And she wore that thing like it was a real 3-carat, $150,000 ring. And then after that, I got a $2,500 ring about 5-year mark. Then after that, I got a $3,500 ring. Then a $5,500 ring. And I ain't went past that. And I wear this right here, this $200 ring. $200 ring I've been wearing since we got married. 13 years. I done had this ring. Cost $180, I think. So it's not about those things and those little symbols. They got cheap rings. Both of y'all can get y'all one of these. $200. It's not about that. It's about, do you have love? What are your thoughts on a partner who wants a prenuptial? I saw that question. I'm looking for Blessed B question, because Blessed B, she gave me a hard time last time about her question. I'm new. My ex-sister-in-law was paying off her wedding ring for 5 years and was divorced after 11 years. My friend spent over $10,000 on the wedding. I was in it, and they not even together. I want my money back for buying that dress. I feel you. I'm trying to tell y'all. Jasmine, Blessed be, I can't find your question. So y'all just need to post it, over and over, because I can't find it. When building a brand, a blog, business, would you recommend using your real name or a brand name? Use your real name. Use your real name, because you want to brand you if you building a brand. So because you use a brand name, that people hear that name, they don't know a face, they don't know who that is. They're just a name. And so you build that brand name. Then when you try to come out and show your face, people like, ugh, I don't know you. I've seen people do that. They hid behind a brand name built to 500,000 Twitter followers, then come out and people like, oh, I ain't know you were white. Or they come out, oh, I ain't know you was black. Oh, I ain't know you was a woman. Oh, I ain't know you was a man. And now they got to readjust and get all the way used to you all over again. So build with your name. Be blessed. I see you. Mr. Gaskins, I'm over 30 but appear younger. So young boys approach me mostly, and older ones always say they didn't because they thought I was a young student. How to appeal to men my age. That's a blessing. That's a blessing. And you really can't appeal to men your age. It's only so much you can do. You may have to sign up for coaching. You may have to talk with either a date coach or do coaching with myself and get real time feedback. You don't even have a picture up, so I can't really speak to that of what you need to do. But you probably gonna have to get some outside feedback. It may be changing your hairstyle. It may be changing the way you dress. But to look younger than you are, that's a blessing. It just means it's not your season yet. Okay. Thank you, France, for doing that. Posting her question. When you said boyfriends get in the way of husbands, I stopped believing in boyfriends. Plan to only be friends, single until marriage. Is that wrong? Yes, that is wrong. Because you still have to be, you still got to have a boyfriend before you get married. Because you still got to he has to make a commitment to let you know he's with you. So it's not about the title. What it's about is the timeline. So have a boyfriend, but don't have a boyfriend for centuries and ages and decades, like what a lot of people do. So have a boyfriend, but it got to be on a timeline. So when you come to the place where, okay, y'all been together 12 months and y'all talking every day, y'all dealing, y'all serious, y'all exclusive. Now it's time for him to say, will you marry me? And then when he says, will you marry me? And you say, yes, okay, that happened in December. The wedding need to be in June. And at the latest, the next December. And uh that's what you gotta do. And so have a boyfriend. Because if you say you single, then that's not gonna turn into marriage either. If you talking to a guy, you messing with the guy, y'all dealing together, then it ain't gonna show up. Now see, let me see what this is. Boyfriend and engagement equals marriage. Thank you, be blessed. Can you start a match? Can you start matchmaking again for February maybe? No, I don't do the matchmaking anymore. For one, it's real time consuming, and so you got to charge a pretty penny. The matchmakers today, like millionaire matchmaker, they charge like $75,000. And so for the time that it take vetting people, scanning people, scoping people out, interviewing people, talking to people, it's so time consuming that it makes it unaffordable. It would be different if it was a matchmaker that's what they do, and they don't have like a brand. They just matchmaking, so their time is less expensive, less costly, because that's the only thing that they're doing. Then they can make it affordable. But once you build your brand, like Millionaire Matchmaker on TV, they got to charge 75,000, 100,000 for matchmaking, just because the time it takes, it becomes too time consuming. And then it's liability with it too, because a person could play a role, you get matched to them, that thing know they trying to chop you up and put you in somebody's freezer. And so I just kind of chill. I'll make a suggestion. I may make a little connection here and there, but nothing serious. He said he can't trust me and we need to slow down. He said I'm too private and move in silence. He apologized the same day, but I hadn't talked to him since. Nicosia, he said he can't trust you and y'all need to slow down. You got to keep it moving. You got to keep it moving. When a man tells you that he can't trust you and y'all need to slow down, you got to go on about your business. Because a man who is for you, a man who wants you, he ain't trying to slow nothing down. He ain't trying to pump no brakes. He's not telling you he can't trust you. And if a man says he cannot trust you, it's a wrap. It's over. The relationship over, because it's hard for a man to trust anyways. It's hard for a man to trust. So if a man says he cannot trust you, it's a wrap. You got to keep it moving. And but see, the thing is, a man will tell you we need to slow down, and he'll tell you he can't trust you, and he'll tell you all of this, but then he won't want to let you go. And that's when you know he about the game. That's when you know he's looking around, he's playing the field, and if he finds somebody that he likes, he'll drop you like a bad habit, and he'll go with that person, and all your time will be wasted. So when you hear those key words, those red flag words, those deal breaking words, you got to say, okay, you can't trust. If there is no trust, there is no relationship. Especially if a man say that. After Atlanta, should I start another YouTube channel with my real name? I have a channel now, not under my name though. If I change that channel name, will it be an issue with existing followers? No, it won't be an issue. People know you change. People know you grow. It won't be an issue. She's talking about Atlanta because just some ideas. Thank you for being a member. She coming to the life coach certification in Atlanta on January 11th. Man, that's close. That's 10 days away. So, and we'll talk about all that there. We're going to talk about social media, and it's an A to Z course, and you'll have time to ask questions there. So we don't want to, we ain't got to take up that time here. And it's a small group because, again, it's $500 for the training. This same training that's not even this extensive, people charging $5,000, $6,000 for it. I charge $500 just because that's just the way I do things. I don't like making things crazy expensive to where you kicking yourself and you mad because you had to tap into your 401k. I want it to be somewhat of a sacrifice, but not something that's gonna have you in the poorhouse. And then I want it to be something to where when you invest that, you get 5 clients, now you done made your money back, and then you profitable from then on. With so many people on social media with similar content, how did you set yourself apart? I wanted to do a blog, but started comparing myself to others, and God was like, serve me or serve people. Yikes. That's all I'm doing is I'm serving God. I'm doing what he put on my heart, what he told me to do. And when you're doing what God told you to do, then there is no competition. There is nobody that's going to come and I got to unplug my mic now, so y'all, it might be a little loud because my phone died. But there is no competition. There is nobody who can replace you. And so when you doing what God told you to do, he's going to favor what you're doing, and he's going to take and set you up and set you apart and bless you, and the people that you are for, those people gonna know you because real recognize real. So the people who support me, they'll recognize the difference between me and other people in everything we do, and how we price our services, how we price our courses, how we give of our time. They may be able to say, look, January 1st, Tony was on YouTube for 2 hours. This other life coach, this other author that say they here to help people, I ain't see them nowhere to be found. They don't do a live for more than 30 minutes, more than an hour. So people see you being obedient, and the people that's meant to appreciate that, they'll appreciate that. The people who they are scam artists and they doing it for the wrong reason, they gonna think you a scam artist, but that's not your audience anyways. So you just got to do you and realize there's no competition. CJ, God bless you, brother, being there. why does this guy always stare at me but never approaches me? Is this to manipulate me? Do men do this to get inside your head so you're always thinking about them? Yes, that is what men do. It's kind of like, you know, trying to intimidate you, trying to turn you on, trying to send a message, just undressing you with his eyes. It's really just mind games, just playing with you, just setting you up, just breaking you down. And then eventually one day he gonna get tired of staring at you and he gonna approach you. But if a man always staring at you but not approaching you, that means he taking. That means he taking, and then eventually when he can't take it anymore, he gonna approach you. But when he approach you, he is gonna be the cheat on the woman he with, unless he tells you and he shows you that he's single. Um, Amber had said something earlier, one of the mastermind members, and I saw it, but I didn't get to read it right then because I was answering the question. So forgive me, Amber, for missing that. You right, Jasmine. Everybody ain't for everybody. Question: I'm almost 30 and I'm ready to get married. How do I get a man to see me as a wife instead of just a friend? Miss Lavender, I'll put your picture on here because your husband could be on here. CJ might be CJ in the group. You know, a man in the group. Who else in the group? Ulysses in the group. Coach Rob in the group. You know it. Your husband could be right here in the Blessed Tribe, but you ain't got no picture, so he can't even see if you look like yes or if you look like no, or if you look like what God showed him. So that's the first thing you could do is show up in the world. For all of y'all that's single and you ready, show up in the world. In every area that you can show up, show up. Show up on Instagram, show up on YouTube, show up at the gym, show up at the grocery store, show up at the gas station, show up. And so you got to be, what I mean by this, you have to be intentional and you got to be in expectation of your blessing. And so your energy and your mindset, when you say that, that's what it's going to be. It's going to be, um, it's going to, a man will feel you. He's going to feel that you are ready, that you are serious by the way you dress, because when you're telling yourself you wife ready, you're going to dress different, you're going to walk different, you're going to talk different. So it's going to be different. Black Spice, your sound has static. Yeah, it got static. Honestly, I feel like my phone tapped, but when I had to unplug the microphone because my phone got 10% battery. And I'm trying to do 2 hours tonight and you see I'm still missing questions. So if I miss your question, post your question again. Hello, Tony, could you post your cash out? Share, God bless you. God bless you. That's one of my OGs. Shares my cybersecurity. And Cher, that's a real person now. That is not, don't y'all think that's me, alias, or what you call that, or somebody like, you know, my sister or she's my social media sister. But Cher's a real person. And I'm going to be devastated the day that I offend and make Cher mad to where she quit on my videos and quit on me. Because she's been so supportive. So supportive. She be supporting me. And now I ain't gonna block your blessing on that cash out. But everything on all my social media, everything is Tony Gaskins. For some reason, it's other Tony Gaskins, but I was the first one to get the .com, to get the Instagram, to get the Facebook, to get the YouTube. So my cash out is that money sign and Tony Gaskins. And it was two people. One lady sent me $5.25, and I think that was a scripture. And another lady sent me, I think, $20 or $25 last week. And it just blessed me. It blessed me to have supporters, you know, to have people that is being a blessing. And when I just say a prayer, and just pray abundance and blessings old folks. And for all of you who showed up and blessed me tonight, Talisha, Lord, thank you. Thank you so much for your blessing. Thank you to the new members, Terry, Simmons, Evelyn Reeves. God bless y'all. Oh, okay, Sharon. I see. Oh, okay. I see. Oh, okay. I see. Thank you. God bless you. God bless you. Sharon says I don't want them getting half of the blessing I have for you. It's for you and the fam only. God bless you. You right, because Cash App, they don't take any of the blessing. But on YouTube, yeah, they don't get theirs. They don't get theirs. Why does this guy compliment me on IG every now and then, yet never ask if I'm single or take me out? I'm gonna tell y'all something, and I'm gonna get going here in 10 minutes. I told me I'm gonna do 2 hours. What time is it? Almost 10 o'clock. Let me tell y'all something. Just like that, right? That question right there. A lot of stuff that men do will not make any sense to a woman. Just like a lot of stuff that women do does not make any sense to a man. So you cannot try to understand everything. Some things a person just does it because of where they are in their life, and it means absolutely nothing. But let me help you understand this right here. When a guy compliments you, what you have to realize, and I want every lady to understand this, is that the largest sexual organ is the brain. It's not what's in your pants. So love making is actually in the mind. It's mental. You notice how you could lie down with somebody and be done, have a release in 60 seconds. You could lie down with somebody and go 45 minutes and don't have a release. It's because it's mental. Love making is in the mind. So what happened is with a man is what happened is with a man a lot of time will talk to you. I'm gonna put my mic back in. Somebody say y'all can't hear me, so if my phone cut off, I had to take my charge out because y'all say y'all can't hear me. Can you hear me now? Put yes, I can hear you if you can hear me. My phone too far away. Can you hear me? But I can't put an earpiece in. I could put an earpiece in if I had my little AirPods. I had to plug my mic back in. I had to plug my phone in the charger because it had 10%. But what you have to understand about a man, and I'm going to talk to y'all and then I'm going to get on off here, because is a man will talk to you because he gets a release. He gets a release. I've been live 112 minutes. Jesse J. A man gets a release when he talks to you. So when you take and he could bump into you, he can say hey to you, he can tell you in the DM, you look good. And to be honest with you, mentally, that feels just like a release, a sexual release for him. And so, because that happens in the mind, and that's why men flirt, that's why a man staring you down in the eyes could feel like a sexual release. A man giving you a compliment can feel like a sexual release. See, a lot of people don't talk about this, and people won't explain this, and people won't be honest about this. But that's why I don't really deal with energy. I don't really deal with, and I tell my wife about men, and I help her understand the mindset of men, because she could be at a soccer game, and she can be talking to a man and just be talking. They talking about soccer. For her as a woman, it could be completely innocent. For him as a man, it could be his first time sleeping with a black woman. In his mind, he could be sleeping with a black woman while he having that conversation. And And he could go home later that night and pleasure himself off of the picture he has in his head of my wife, because that's how men experience sex, because it's mental. It's a feeling. It don't have to be the actual act. It could be just brushing up against your shoulder. It could be just having a conversation with you. That's why I tell people all the time that love making is not the physical act. Love making is the conversation. Love making is the communication. So that's why that man writing you in the DM, because he getting off on that. He get a little feeling off of that. He get a little feel good off of that. But he don't want to go no further, because as far as asking you out on a date, because he has a woman. He got a situationship. Or he could have a whole woman, could have a whole relationship. Hey Tony, is it possible to have a soul tie with someone that you've never had sexual relationship with? What you have to realize about a soul tie is that in 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 one sense of the word, a soul tie is like a physical connection. It's like you've lied down with this person. You lied down with this person, and you gave your body to them. So you are spiritually tied. You're spiritually tied together for life because you gave them your body. When you don't give them your body, then you're not spiritually tied for life. Like, you can break that because you didn't give them your body. And so what that means is you could have a emotional connection to them. Your brain could have a emotional response to the chemistry that y'all built, but that's not necessarily the same as a soul tie. But a soul tie is technically just an emotional bond that's cemented by physical intercourse. And so outside of that, if you remove that from it, then it's an emotional tie, not the same as a soul tie. So it can be strong, but not as damaging because you didn't give them your body. So you may think about them, you may feel them, you may, you know, remember them, you may have all the same feelings. The fruit could be similar, but the root is different. And so when you were not intimate, it's not as damaging. It's not as strong long term unless you make it that way by continuously thinking about them and fantasizing about them. Whereas with a physical soul tie, you can stop thinking about a person and stop, fantasizing about it, but the tie is still there because you actually gave them your body. Let me see if I got the. Hey Tony, how can a woman be a boss literally in a male dominated field but still remain approachable? A woman is always approachable if her spirit is pure. So if you're not operating from ego, if you're not operating from arrogance, if you're not operating from bitterness or frustration, then you're approachable. When you start to operate from another place that's not self rooted in self love, that's when you're not approachable. So if you are a boss, let's say you the VP, you the president, you the CEO, you the top dog, you the big earner, but you are arrogant because of your title, then you can be unapproachable. If you're rude, if you're condescending, if you're being nasty, then you're unapproachable. But if you still pure at heart, you still humble, you still kind, then you're approachable. And so that's what you got to understand. So the true Caucasian men at my job, so true, the Caucasian men at my job. Oh, okay, then you talking about with a black woman. Hey Tony, yeah, I saw that one. I'm looking for a question. I'm getting ready to go on, get on off of here now, cause my phone gonna be done died on y'all. What you think about dating a young guy? He gotta have an old soul. He got to be very, very mature. If he young and he act young, then keep it moving. Cause you're already more mature than he is. Even if you younger than him, you may be more mature than him. So if he young and he act young, keep it moving. Uh, did I get to Terry? Tony Miss G question: in the process of healing from several failed relationships, what are the best ways to build confidence and self-esteem? New knowledge. New knowledge. So when you read the books, when you take the courses, when you on the lives, when you on the sessions, you getting new knowledge. And when you get that new knowledge, what time is it? It's 11 o'clock. Oh, I was on Central Time, so my watch saying 10, telling me lies. It's 11 o'clock. So when you get the new knowledge, it's going to build your confidence because now you know what you did not know. Now you understand what you did not understand. And so that's what you have to do. Get as much knowledge as you can. And the good thing about like with YouTube, you can come and you can watch a video. And when you watch the video, you taking and you able to watch a video and you able to make a playlist and you can watch 10, 11, 12 videos in a day and get all the knowledge that you need. And that's what's going to happen because as you learn more, you're going to put stuff where it goes. Hey, thank y'all so much. Let me wrap up here. I want to hide the chat real quick from me. It may show on y'all side. But let me hide the chat so I can focus for a minute. Hey, thank y'all so much. Everybody that's a member, thank you so much for being a member of the channel. If you want to join the channel as a member, the link is in the description. Please don't take this as cliche. Don't take this as something that's just said to be said. Make sure that you make 2020 a new year and a better year by changing your mindset. Change the way that you view yourself. Start really speaking your dreams into existence and taking action on them. Start naming and claiming and believing what you want. And when you say that you want it, when you say that you want it to happen for you, you want it to come in your life, whether it's love, whether it's a business, whether it's a new career, you got to speak it and you have to believe it. And by believing it mean that you have to be in expectation of it every single day. You got to think about it every day, all day. You got to have pure energy. You got to have a smile on your face. Your head has to be up. Your eyes have to be open. Your head need to be on a swivel because you are in expectation of what you say you want. And then make sure you are doing the work. So don't just let it come out your mouth and say, oh, I want love, or oh, I want to start my own business, or oh, I want to be my own boss. You got to make sure that you do the work. So what I mean by doing the work is sit down literally and write out your plan. Write out your plan so that you can put the steps in order. And then every day take a step towards your ultimate goal. Literally take a step no matter how small it is. If it's just going and buying your domain for your website, just yourname.com, they cost $11.99, $11.99. If it's getting a coaching session, if it's reading a book, the book may be $10, maybe $25. But take that one step and every day keep taking steps. And what you're going to realize is that you're going to start to create the life that you want. So don't just talk about it, be about it. Keep pressing, keep going. And thank y'all so much for being on here. I'm going to keep my videos going this year. So my family's still up. We on break. I see my son just getting out the shower and then running around being loud. I tried to get to the questions, but I did not get all of them. I'm trying to see. Ebony, yes, you can replay the live stream. When I'm done, it'll process, but then it'll show up and you can replay it. You can fast forward through it, get to where you need to get. And I'm gonna try, if I get home in time Sunday, we'll do a Q&A. I did some tonight, but I really appreciate y'all. God bless you, and we'll talk soon. I went 5 minutes over tonight, but we'll talk. And I'll post Sunday if I'm not gonna be able to make it, and I may make up for it next week. But I told y'all, for being a member of the channel, I'm gonna try to do a Q&A every week. So try to honor my word. God bless you. We'll talk soon.